Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 37-year-old from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. His hockey journey has taken him to Canada, the USA, Sweden, Russia, Finland, Germany, Wales, and Scotland. Folks, he lost his last hockey game, losing a 1-goal nail biter at the Josh Batch Testimonial. But we can let it slide this time, as that weekend was more about the fellas off ice production, and this fella and all the Shed guys in attendance ran a muck, folks. He just led the clan as a player coach from the basement to the playoffs and nearly knocked off the Grand Slam winning Belfast Giants. He is a winner, and it started young, folks, winning gold with Team Canada in the under 18s and the World Juniors. Also, then, as an adult, won the Liga, or the Finnish Elite League, with Tappara. And he is a 2-time playoff champion with my Cardiff Devils. And he is known around the game as a true gem and ultimate Shed guy. And he returns for like the 4th time because he loves the Shed after seeing my tallywhacker back in 2019. Welcome back to the Shed, Stephen Dixon.
Thanks for having me, Wally.
Hey, thanks for coming. You know, about time you woke up.
That's it. A little late here, but we're here.
We're here. We did it. I get it now. We know each other. I mean, I just hung out with you in person, didn't I?
That's right. What a laugh that was.
That was a laugh.
Geez, they had it set up nice, didn't they? The whole weekend was unbelievable.
Well, and then like everybody shows up with a good attitude, and sure enough, it's sunny all weekend long, right?
Beautiful, beautiful. I came home. It's been raining ever since I got home. Probably a good thing, though.
Well, I tell you, that was a time. So yeah. Here's a good question. This is cutting edge. What was the highlight of your weekend?
Geez, I think it was just focus. I actually felt bad. My flight was delayed out of Halifax, so I missed the Thursday night. You guys had a good Thursday night too. Yeah. Then I had to leave Sunday. I missed Sunday. I was there for half it, basically, because you guys had a Sunday too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had a Thursday and a Sunday. I was trying to figure out when all you were there for, because you know it's quite the crew when you get going.
I was there. Yeah, I got in Friday morning, and then I left Sunday afternoon around that. But no, it was just good to see everybody. It was Batchy brought back quite a crew of guys. Oh man, just good to see everybody again.
I always say Shed guys know Shed guys, and Batchy knows Shed guys, because the roster he brought back was a time.
Oh man, no, it was nice to meet a lot of new people too. There was, guys from before me and probably from before you were with you, and it was nice to meet all the guys. Good.
Oh, for sure. And I don't know why I thought this, like when you get home, I thought all of you guys had played together. And then when I started realizing you hadn't played with him or he had played with that guy, I don't know, all the new guys, I just thought you'd all played together.
I know, but it was like we all played together though. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's weird how you can hit it off, right? And for me, the part I like is like I had never really hung out with you guys in person, but like when I hang out with you in the Shed, I'm going up and giving guys hugs and stuff, and they're giving me hugs, and it's like the first time we've met.
It's like we played together for a few years.
Yeah, but you can get to know a guy in the Shed, you know.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it.
Another way we know each other is the start of talking about doing this. It actually happened right after your season. I'm guessing you were still in your postseason, like you were mid-bender. It was only like a day or two after you guys were done. And you texted and said, "Let's pod." And then I got hot to trot, and then you ghosted me.
Probably went to sleep after, probably.
It can get exhausting after a few days when the season ends, right?
Oh, I know. You come home, and it's kind of bad. You come home, your buddies are fired up to see you too, and sometimes you just say, we'll see you next weekend.
Well, that brings back memories. You're right, though. You do the postseason thing with your team, and then you get on a plane and head home, and you haven't seen people in 8 months, and then it just keeps on rolling for a couple more.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Never-ending.
But you guys, we talked about this last weekend, but you took over as a player coach in 2023. That's neato, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite an experience. We had Dyson Stevenson was there as well, and Sean Boutin, and those guys were great. And yeah, it was comical, man. It was funny because you kind of get thrown in the fire a bit, and no one really knows how it works, right? So
Yeah.
like what are the rules here when you're doing that? And it's kind of we just had fun with it, and there was such a great group of guys there in Glasgow. Uh, Everyone kind of stuck with it, and I mean, for us, I mean, everyone has different goals going into the season. For us, we had a pretty bad start. And for
Sure
us, it was
did.
to make play. Oh yeah, to make playoffs was a thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's everyone's looking at different things, but for us to make playoffs, it was kind of a big deal for us as players, right? It
Absolutely.
was
Like,
good.
because
Yeah,
your
it was
guys
awesome.
start, you guys went through a lot there with everything going on. And you guys just showed up wanting to have fun and play hockey. And then there was a whole sideshow on the side, right? And then you guys obviously aren't winning much, and it's hard to win with stuff going on like that, right?
Yeah, there was a lot going on, and I think the whole year though, Malcolm was there. Malcolm built a great team. So from day one, we had a great team, but we had a lot of injuries. There was, some stuff going on, but the injury problems we had were crazy. I mean, some games it was like, who do we have tonight? And you're like, oh my God, everyone's just a lot of guys are out, key guys are out. It was, it was definitely experience, that's for sure. And like I said, we had a lot of injury troubles, but the bones of the team from day one, I mean, on paper, we had some really good players there, and guys kind of came into their own around the end. It was great. It was great to see the guys came together. It was a lot of fun to be part of.
Well, I don't know if you see stuff I post, because like the day you took over as coach, and I said, watch this shit. These guys are going to love playing for him. Or I said it in the shed too. But like, as soon as you became a coach, I know what it's like being a pro hockey player. When you have a good relationship with your coach, when you want to play for your coach, you can play harder and you can do more things and you can block more shots. And I knew those fellows would buy into having you as a coach, and they do what it took to help you win. And I thought it was very neat when you guys came back and then made the playoffs. And realistically, you guys were the closest team to beating Belfast, and you had to play them for twice as long as everybody else.
Yeah, no, we had a good run there in playoffs. Like I said, it was just the guys coming together, and I think you know what it's like, Wally. Everyone, you get a good group of guys and guys that like being around each other, and guys are just battling. And I mean, I used to laugh. We used to, a
When
bunch
you
of us
do it
used to,
for each other, right?
yeah, we used to call ourselves the Bad News Bears a bit because for a while there we were just written off, right? And then
Yeah.
we started winning. Some games we let slip, but we kind of won the games we had to around the end, and beat some teams we needed to beat. And yeah, it's quite an experience, quite
Wow.
a ride, that's for sure. Probably write a book on it, on the season we had, but it was fun.
You know what? That was when I think about the weekend we just had, that was my favorite part, was sitting down with fellas I did know, I didn't know, I hadn't seen in a long time, and the stories, man, the laughs, and like
Oh
these
yeah.
with it, that's how this whole thing works, and the shed works, is like the lives we've lived not making the show. You could write almost every guy that comes on here could write a book about what's gone on, right?
Oh, I know, it's comical. Same thing. It's funny, a weekend like that you bring together. For me, it was like Benty, Marty, the dad. Those guys were good buddies when I was there. So it's not very often you get everyone together too, right? And
I know.
Lordo as well. It was good to see Lordo. It's been a while since I saw him. And, you know, like I said, it was probably a great weekend for him too because he's used to being the boss, right?
Oh yeah, he could finally just be one of the
Yeah,
boys again,
and he's
right?
all. That's what I mean. Yeah, it was. No, it was good to see everyone in that environment.
Yeah. And before we get off this Glasgow thing though, is when I put your coming on, shed guy Dylan Bath from Sheffield, he like reached out and wanted to know what it was like being a player coach and how you took a team from like nothing right to the playoffs whenever we thought you were down and out. And I already called it in the shed. I knew it was going to happen because guys want to play for good dudes, and you want to work hard for each other. And then I bet you even hit the town with some of the players sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was.
I think
we were
that builds a foundation on a pro hockey team. The first
yeah,
year in Cardiff, Lordo was like one of the guys, and he would always say, "This is our team. We're doing it together. This is our team now." And then when like you'd hit the town with your coach, that's a player out there with you, blocking shots, doing everything with you. It's a whole different dynamic than a dude that's always just blowing a whistle, pointing at fingers and telling you what to do. And then they stand behind you all game telling you what to do, right? They're not in there with you.
yeah. No, it was like I said, it was a weird dynamic, and I mean, a lot of credit to Dyson Stevenson. He was, I don't know if you've watched any games, but the way he plays is, he's got that old school game as it comes. I mean, he eats pucks, blocks shots. So, I mean, he squared off with Big Lou. He drops the glove. So it's, having a guy like that as well, where, I mean, when no one's going to mess with Dyson, and he's great team ball. I think it was just, all part of it. I mean, like I said, we were all one of the boys, and you still hang out with the guys, and yeah, it was kind of it was a cool dynamic. I was saying when that happens, kind of mid-season, it's almost I'm not going to say easier, but it's coming in that position. It's when you know the guys and you're one of the guys, and you're just making tweaks. And the other thing is too, the bad thing, a lot of injuries, but on the other side of that was there was a lot of ice time for everyone too. So there, a lot of games there wasn't, you're going in with 3 lines, and
I used to like 3 lines. That's what I liked when I was a player.
Exactly. So everyone's getting ice time. So there's no, there's no real, you don't have to put anyone in the stands. You know what I mean? There wasn't too much of that. So no, everyone was playing. You get out, you're rolling the lines, and no, it was a lot of fun. Good experience.
I actually got a lot of questions about this now that we're going. But so you guys have to play the home and home with Belfast, right? So I find it's kind of weird in the EIHL. It's kind of like there's no home ice for finishing top 4 because you each play a home game. But like all these other teams, they never even really came very close to beating Belfast. And you guys were what, a goal away?
Yeah, I think we lost up there 4-2, and then we won 4-3 at home. But obviously the aggregate score there, we lost. But I mean, geez, the effort we put in. I mean, if you look at the two teams on paper, everyone, and I'm sure for them, I mean, they just won the league as well, so you're kind of coming off that, and but for us now, we just went out and worked hard. We played them tough, and they had a great team, and they're well coached. I think Kiefer's resume speaks for itself.
He's really putting one together, isn't he?
Oh yeah, they got a wagon for sure, but it's different when you're in that position. There's, people talk about pressure and stuff, and I'm not going to say there was no pressure, because it's I kind of hate when people say that all the pressure's on them and stuff, but it's a hockey game. No one's thinking of that when you're out there, but you're definitely playing a little looser. I mean, when expectations going into that were pretty low, it's let's just go out and let it fly type of thing.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose. Yeah,
but no, we battled hard right to the end, and I mean, it was definitely a good weekend for the guys, and it would have been great to make it into that playoff weekend, because that's the funnest. I mean, of all the hockey and the leagues and stuff, that's the funnest weekend, I think, is that playoff weekend. You get up there to Nottingham, and the fans are crazy. It's such a good weekend. I wish we could have made it into that, but we definitely have to be proud of the effort we gave.
Yeah, that weekend in Nottingham, it's a zoo around there.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's and I heard about it before. My buddy Stu McCrae told me. He was in Cardiff, and he said, "Man, you got to get to that playoff weekend. You hear about it." I said, "Oh yeah, I'm sure it's just another weekend." But when we got in there and we ended up winning, it was just such a cool experience. You get all the fans from around the league, and it was no, it's good. Good luck.
I never played in it. I only went there as a pregame speaker, and it was pretty interesting when I could go out with Dees or the fans, and
Yeah.
it's hilarious that like all 10 teams are there. You go into a bar and every jersey of every team is in there and everybody's just mucking
Oh,
it up together.
oh, it's hilarious. It's kind of like it's almost like more like a festival.
It's a hockey
It's like
festival.
going,
It's a celebration of hockey.
yeah, exactly. It's like going to a concert or something. It's just,
Yeah.
and obviously you're getting good games because it's playoff weekend. I mean, it's great hockey, and no, it's just a good weekend for everybody.
Well, I got this question for way later, but you played in a lot of different countries. Isn't it interesting how every country has a different vibe, a different culture, different locker room vibe, different fitness, different practices?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, looking back at it now, it's some of the places you're like, how did I even get through that? Like
Right.
with the off ice training and the training camps and Russia comes to mind. The training camps there were super hard, but they had a little different expectations. It's usually when you show up like North America, we're used to you show up in training camp, you got to be in shape.
Yeah.
It's like you're judged how you show up, how you look,
Yeah. And you
what
do
you
it on
weigh.
your own and you show up the way you want to be a pro. Yeah.
Yeah, and Russia was a little different, at least back when I was there. I mean, that's 10 years ago now, but we got there. Geez, I think it was like July 10th or mid-July.
Yeah.
So guys show up, and that's their time to get in shape. And to be honest, it kind of makes sense. I wish I would have known that before I went because I was training to get ready for the beginning of
For
training
July
camp.
10th. Yeah.
All kind of nervous. What do I look like? Because my body type, I can put weight on pretty easy. So I'm running and eating
You're
like a
preaching to the
rabbit,
choir.
working. Yeah, exactly. And then you get there, those guys are kind of like coming off vacation, and they use that to
To
get in
get ready.
shape, which is a good thing because a lot of places it's not like that, right? You got to show up in shape, but a lot of it, I mean, especially Sweden, Finland, they're training, Germany as well. Really good. I thought what they do there is really good on ice and off ice, and I think that's why you see so many good players now. Those countries, the training they do and the
Well,
on ice and
I
off
think
ice.
everybody might have had a different experience in Germany because I think like when I went in Bietigheim with the first coach, he made us show up July 1st. We didn't even
Oh,
have ice in for until August. So we were there for 4 weeks without ice and we just ran on the track, like ran. And it was not what I thought was beneficial. And you wanted to show up in shape just so you don't die when you have to do the running. But like you had 6 weeks of it. It was horrible.
it can be tough. But I one summer actually in Finland, we had a good team there. We ended up winning it my second year, but my first year we lost in Game 7 of the finals, and the coach was like, "Oh, fitness was never kind of really my strong point, kind of." But he was like, "We want to keep the team together to train in the summer. We want to keep you here for this, summer training." I think it was like 6 weeks in the summer, 5, 6 weeks. I was kind of hesitant, but I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll do it." We got a good team, good chance next year. So I stayed, and it was actually probably one of the better things I did, just to see the way they trained. And it wasn't overly crazy, but it was just really good stuff. Like sometimes you're doing stuff, you're like, "This is pointless. What am I
Yeah.
doing?"
Yeah.
But most of the stuff we did there, I was like, "Geez, this is good stuff." You know what I mean? Like I said, it was a good city, good guys. So
Well, and
I
I
didn't
think
mind
that's
doing it.
all what hockey's all about is learning from everybody and everybody's different culture. Like I find I know much more from going to Germany and then trying to learn from other people, where then there's other people that are just stuck in their ways and they won't try other new stuff, right?
Well, yeah, you see, you take bits and pieces stuff you like, and I mean, even like a pregame warm up's a lot different now than what I did before I went to all these different places. You kind of take little bits and pieces from everywhere, stuff you like, stuff that works, and kind of implement it into your stuff. So it was definitely a good experience seeing all the different ways they do things for sure.
Well, here's another cutting edge question because I love food. You lived all over the place. Where was the best and the worst food you've ate?
Geez, best food. I mean, the UK is great because it's pretty similar back home. But Sweden, the food they're quite healthy there, so it wasn't the food wasn't overly as appetizing as stuff that I like to eat. But I'd say the best Germany was cool too. Seeing that side of things, they eat so heavy there too.
Heavy, yeah. But then everybody's skinny and they bicycle everywhere.
That's what I was saying. There's not that many overweight people, so it makes you wonder.
It does make you wonder.
It's a lot of heavy stuff there.
But you know what I think might have happened to me while I was in Germany was they would cycle and walk everywhere, where I would eat the heavy food and then I would just lay on my couch and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Those Christmas markets, though, you can run a muck at, and like the beer houses, my goodness, that's living.
Yeah. When it was Christmas season, it's hard not to go after practice. You go down for lunch. Oh, let's go to the market. And then all of a sudden you're 5 or 6 glue vines deep
and a couple sausages
every day
deep.
Turns into a laugh. Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
But no, surprisingly too, in Russia, I actually quite liked the food they had there. It was good.
Is that right? What's that like then?
Well, it was a lot of good restaurants. I mean, the places we used to go were good. They had a lot of good sushi. I think it's beet soup and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty good.
Huh. Yeah, I never got to that side of the world. Germany was about as far as I went.
No, and I used to love going to Czech too, Prague and that stuff. But I never played, but just going in for games or vacation or whatever.
Prague's a sweet city.
Oh, is it ever?
Oh, we didn't even talk about this yet. You were just in Amsterdam having a time.
I just got back.
You live, eh? You live.
Well, I was going over. I had Springsteen booked in Edinburgh a while back, and it just so happened Batchy's dates. They ended up being it was Batchy's weekend, and then Springsteen was on Tuesday in Edinburgh. Then when you're over there, you're already over. Never been to Amsterdam. Let's go there. So we went there for 4 days after. That's the good thing about Europe. You get traveling around. The flights are so cheap, right?
Well, you can go to so many different places, and you drive there.
Oh, Amsterdam was great. You ever been to Amsterdam?
Yeah, I went after I had my first original knee surgery, the PCL. I was out for the rest of the season. My sister and brother-in-law came over, and we went there for a good 5 days because I was done for the year. So we went and had time.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful city. I was pretty laid back, but the whole city itself is beautiful. I mean, besides you got the red light district, it's a little crazy in that area, but besides that, it's just a beautiful place.
One of my favorite things to do, actually, I don't know, whatever people judge this, but like that red light district, there's some funny things to watch. If you sit at a bar across the road and just people watch, it's some funny stuff goes on.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I tell you, some people were way busier. They were getting a lot more business than the other ones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it was funny. So we were there we left Sunday, I believe, or Monday. But the Saturday was crazy. We went down in that area Thursday and it was pretty tame. But Saturday we went, and I was just dying laughing because I don't know how many bachelor parties were there. It's like every bachelor party from all around the world goes to Amsterdam. It's just so loud.
And all the Hindus go to Chippy Lane.
Yeah.
Chippy Lane was a time though last weekend. Did you hit it?
You know what?
Don't tell me you were there for 2 nights and you didn't hit Chippy Lane. I
walked through. I think one night we got out of the bars. It was so late. I don't even know. I think I ended up eating breakfast at McDonald's. That's a good sign when they're serving breakfast.
Yeah. Actually, You guys stayed up later than me. That game Saturday night really took its toll on me. I was really, really tuckered out after that. Pushed it hard.
You know what? The first like 10 minutes of that game was quite a high pace.
Very high pace, right? Very.
I was out third line, and I remember the first two shifts I was watching. Like, oh my god! And like I played last year, I was like, geez, this is going pretty fast. But then
yeah.
everyone kind of settled in after a little while. That was good.
We were trying to figure out how serious this was, how big of a competition this was, right? And like the guys that haven't played in a long time, we don't want to embarrass ourselves when we get out there, even if we're hungover, right?
Well, yeah, we all during the day as well. It was kind of an eye opener when you get there and you realize, geez, there's a lot of people here too. It's
yeah,
maybe time to have some water.
Right. Yeah. That Friday was sure fun though, eh? When we had like 10 to 15 like-minded fellas hitting the bay together.
Oh, that was a great day. I remember because I missed a whole day of sleep too, because my flight was late from Halifax. So I missed the drive into Cardiff because I was hoping to get there Thursday night. And by the time I got in, I was like, oh, I'll get the last bus. I missed that. So I'm in the airport at like 2:00, and it was like, do I get a hotel room or should I just stick it out till the next bus at 5 or 5:30? I was like, I had a couple coffees, stuck it out, and ended up getting that bus. By the time I get into Cardiff, it was around 10. The boys were just starting to get up, and we formed a pretty good little crew there. We had a nice day.
We had a lovely day. Yeah. And that's I find it's just funnier with hockey guys around. Like, and when hockey's over and you end up just out your shed and you're not around hockey guys anymore, it's really fun to be around them for a weekend. Because like the first time I saw you, Benty opens your hotel room door. There you are, showering, door open. You're there showering. You're like, hey, Wally. I'm like, hey, Dicko. And then the next time I come into the hotel, it's whenever this was, Benty just opens up his hotel room door, buck naked, puts out the empty pizza boxes, and I'm just walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, the big fella opens up the door, buck, and it's just a different culture with us fellas around.
Yeah, it's good to see. He's such a beauty too. It's good to see you. We were rooming together. We had a good laugh, man. It's good.
And I hadn't seen him. Like I'd never really hung out with him that often, but like I knew he was Shed Guys No Shed Guys. He was buddies with my fellas from Niagara University back in the day.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and then he grows up with Joey Martin, and then he ends up with the Devils. A lot of links for a guy I'd never hung out with,
Yeah, no, the hockey world is close. There's not too much separation, right? Everyone kind of knows everybody.
What the cat do?
He's up on the ledge.
Cats can fall from there.
Jesus. It's the first time he's done that. We're in like a loft style place, and I mean the top level's pretty high. I don't think he could. Maybe he could. Yeah, maybe he could land. I think he didn't jump.
So you guys just got a cat then. You guys are like a family now.
Getting there, Wally. Yeah. Start with the cat, eh?
Cats. You're a cat guy, eh? They're different to dogs.
Well, it's a kitten, so it's actually a lot. I think when it gets a little older, you can just let it go, but it's a lot more work than I thought, to be honest.
Well, especially the way you live, you're traveling, doing things, right?
Yeah, when I went away, he was at my parents' place for a week or so. They loved that though. It was good.
Yeah, so here's a question for you, because I obviously was a big fan of you becoming a coach. And then the job you did. I just saw Glasgow hired a different guy that's never been in the league before, I don't think. And I'm curious, did they ever ask you to stay on after turning their season around?
Well, to be honest, it's funny. I used to play when I was first in the American League. I used to play against him. He was a really good player. I think I played against him in Sweden as well. And no, I heard good things. Heard he's a great guy. But no, it's how coach it is. It's one of those worlds, and like getting my feet wet last year was obviously a great experience, and no, I didn't really talk to Glasgow. I had something else I was looking into actually, and it was just kind of had to make a little bit of a decision, and this year I think I'm gonna end up staying closer to home, and being home. I've been away for a while too, and it's been nice to be home. And so for me personally, I'm just kind of looking into things more close to home. But no, I think there's a lot of change up there in Glasgow, which I think will definitely benefit everybody. And they got that's a place when you look at the league. Obviously, they're making some changes in the right way, I think. And no, I think they're with the fan base they have and everything. I think it's if they keep things moving in the right direction, that'll be a place, I think, in a few years that'll be hopefully up there
A
competing with the
perennial
big boys.
contender. Well, and that's what they were
Well,
when I
you
was
never
in the
know,
league.
right?
When Finnerty was running the show there and recruiting shed guys, like they were right at the top. They were battling for league titles, and then for some reason, I think they got rid of them. And then there's been a lot of changes around there, and that's why with the job you did last year, I would have thought they would have been asking you. But then again, the
Yeah.
coaching lifestyle, if you have to want to get into that, because man, they have to zig and zag a lot in their careers if they want to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely coaching's a lot of fun. It's definitely a good if you can get into it, and I feel like it's kind of a rewarding thing if you can, looking at if you build a team, especially in the EIHL. I mean, the coach does a lot of stuff, so it's basically your show. So you can see how it'd be rewarding building a team and building a program like they have in Cardiff
Yeah,
and places like that where you start winning trophies, and no, it'd be a good experience, I think, for sure.
for sure. And then you recruit your own core and try and keep them there and then build around them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I mean. It's a cool league that way. It all comes down to, like, Wall, you get a good group of core guys and you can do a lot of damage.
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you get a core that's in it for the right reasons, that are doing it for each other and aren't too concerned about who's getting a goal or assist. They just care about winning or losing, and everybody gets along on and off the ice. Like, it's amazing the things that can happen, right?
It is, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And another way we know each other, actually, speaking of that, is when I was coaching the fellas 2 years ago, you came on and met them with Mac and the horse, the register, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we had a team like that, man. We had those kids were in it for the right reasons and they were doing it for each other. And I really appreciated that when you guys made the time for them, you know?
Yeah, no, it was cool. That was a good laugh.
Yeah. So I saw registers in the finals again, eh?
Geez, Reggie, man, Reggie's won a bunch of championships in the coast, hasn't he?
He's like an all probably already a Hall of Famer, and he's still doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Reggie's a good man. When it comes down to when push comes to shove, Reggie's a laid back guy, but you get into games, you got to win, man. Just his whole demeanor, he's so laid back, calm. I should say calm under pressure. He's gets her done, man.
Yeah, well, some guys can crack under pressure and some guys are ready for it. But I did notice that they are down 3-rip in the final, so that's too bad. Hopefully they can climb out of it. But
yeah, hopefully they get out of
it. He did get to live in Idaho all year, so that would be fun. I don't know if you've been there. What a spot.
I heard they have a good setup there.
Oh, they sure do. Yeah, we lost in the finals to them way back in 06 or whatever it was, 07. Anywho, so Glasgow's a good city though, eh? And I think I always wondered how that team couldn't be contenders every year, but there's been a lot of changes on that organization the last few years, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it's city wise, it was a great city. Glasgow's I mean, I didn't realize, that's a major city, man. There's a lot going on, even like concert wise and things like that. It was a no, it was a good place to live. It was a real nice spot. Like I said, everything's there. Nice rink, good fans. So I think they're obviously making some changes, which I think hopefully turns them into like I said, into a contender.
Well, and it's good for that league to get as many teams up near the top as possible, right? Instead of the same teams every year. But anywho,
Yeah, that's you kind of every year you can kind of who's going to be in contention a little bit, right?
yeah, yeah,
You get the odd year where a team will break through, but for the most part, you kind of know what's going on. But I think the parity in the league though is pretty good. Like there's no
well, and
even
that's
like
the difference, right? It's the full regular season where regular season the
yeah.
cream kind of rises to the top. It was the same in Germany where it's always the top teams that are at the top. It's money
Well,
talks.
it's the same in every league. You can look at the any league, Swedish, Finnish.
Yeah.
You know what? Before the season, like this team's Finland Tapper is going to be up at the top. This team is going to be at the top. This team's going to be at the top.
Yeah.
But but like I said, the parities. I mean, any given night in the EIHL now, I think anyone can beat anybody, which is a cool thing.
It is. So since I'm an aspiring coach in minor hockey, what's your favorite drill? What would you say the fellows would say is your best drill?
Favorite drill. I mean, I'm pretty old school. You can't beat the Canada Cup. You can do that. Start doing that when you're 5. You can throw that out anytime you want.
Yeah, and it's all about executing passes, right? Don't have to skate too hard, but tape to tape, fellas.
Yeah. Just make sure the passes are on.
Yeah. And speaking of the kids, there is I probably should have brought this up when I had you on with all my little Canucks there. But when the research team got hot early morning and Colby was with me, I'm like, hey, guess who I'm talking to today? And I showed him your research page and I'm like, check out who he's played with. And I clicked on the World Junior years and you played with Crosby a bunch, eh?
Well, yeah, he's from Cole Harbor here, so we grew up. He was a couple years younger than me, but he'd always play up. So even through minor hockey, we'd play against each other, and got a chance to play together in the under-20s there, the World Juniors, and played against some junior and stuff. Yeah, no, he's such a great guy. He does a lot for the community and stuff, and then it's great for kids around this area because for a long time we never really had the big names. Say Toronto's got kids coming out all the time, but we had NHL guys, but never
like a superstar.
Superstars. And I mean, for the kids around here now, you look, you got Crosby, you got McKinnon, Brad Marchand. I mean, it's a pretty good lineup there. And
that is a pretty good lineup.
Batherson coming through now. There's a lot of younger guys, the Barron brothers. There's a lot of younger guys from around here, making a name for themselves and making a good career for themselves. So it's good. I always like seeing.
Well, so okay, here's a question. So you'd know those fellas. Let's say they were invited over to Josh Batch's testimonial. Would they run as big of a muck as us?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Good for them. Shit, guys. Okay, because you never know what they're like, right? They can be pretty serious in the NHL, eating their salmon, staying light.
Oh, and listen, they're all, they train like animals.
Yeah,
but all great guys. So it's that's a good thing to.
It's easy to cheer for the good guys, right?
Yeah, it's good to see guys from here. When they're doing that good, and even in playoffs, most of the time, it's like who you cheering for. Kind of look at the roster. If there's a guy from Nova Scotia, it's like, oh, I'm cheering for those, that team. But
yeah, like that's the same way I watch hockey. I'm just cheering for my buddies.
No, that's the thing, right? It's like, what team is? It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Speaking of out there too, another well, you talked about Haddadi. I hadn't seen him forever until that weekend. And the
Yeah.
other guy from out there that's a legend, and you played with him in Cape Breton, is Cully.
Oh, Cully's a great guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw Cully about a month ago. An old teammate of ours, James Shepard, he had his birthday, so those guys went golf and they had a little barbecue at his place. So it was good. Good to see Cully. Cully, he was coaching for a while.
Is Larry getting in trouble back there?
He's trying to jump off the ledge here, but yeah, he got into the coaching a bit as well. He was coaching the Eagles now. Yeah, I think he's done now, but he was.
I heard he started like a development thing now. Heard he's doing quite well at it.
Yeah, he's a great hockey guy, man. He's really slick player.
Oh yeah.
I like demeanor too. Right? He's so laid back and just a good guy.
But then he was a gamer when it came. I mean, like you're talking about Reggie. When it came push to shove, Cully was ready to go.
Oh, big time. Listen, he could play, man. I remember. I think Cully came in when I was 18 or 19. He was 16, and he was a local kid, and he came in. Just watching him in camp, man, this guy can play. Just smart.
Didn't he end up being like their all-time leading scorer or something?
They retired his jersey.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think there's 2 jerseys retired. It's Marc-Andre Fleury and Cully.
It's good company there.
I think he played his whole career in Cape Breton, like all-time scorer, games played, just captain, like
shed guy.
you can't get too much better guy than Cully either, right?
No, you can't. That's why he was like our babysitter when Colby was little. He was always the one that like he'd play mini hockey for Colby. And on Halloween, when there's no real trick or treating in Cardiff, him and Herv the Perv set up like a haunted house in their apartment, and then like invited the kids over, and
that's cool.
They had it all set up in this haunted house in their apartment. And like, yeah, Cully's a fantastic fella.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna see all those guys this weekend. Unfortunately, a legend of a guy around here, Blair Joseph, the Bearcat. This guy was unbelievable. He was my coach 4 years in Cape Breton, assistant, and he sadly passed away. But so all the boys are going to head back there. They're having like a celebration of life Saturday, so it'll be Haddad and Culligan. So it'd be good to get all those guys together. And yeah, like I was saying, this guy, he knew everybody. They're having it at the rink down there, so there'll be thousands of people there to.
So the guy definitely made an impact. What did Larry do now?
This is getting insane.
Yeah, you guys got to keep it down up there. It's getting crazy here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Wally can hear me here. Just a lot of Larry talk.
Sounds like Larry's getting in trouble. He's better behave.
He's trying to jump off the thing. But just put him in
But that's
room.
the thing. Cats always land on their feet. You could pretty well throw him from up there. He'll be fine.
Like 20 feet up, though, if you fall.
Well, bring him down. Bring him down.
We're not going to be able to stop him now.
Okay, here's another cutting edge question. I'm trying to remember what number you wore in Cardiff. What number? 11. So
yeah.
your email screams that you like number 14. That's the number my son wears. So what is your favorite number and why?
Well, as a kid, I always wore 10. I love 10.
Pavel Bure, or what's up?
Yeah, Bure. I don't know. I always liked 10 for some reason.
I always wore 10 too.
And then when I went to junior, I went to 14. So that's probably why I still have a Hotmail address. I probably made it in junior, so that's why it's 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I've kind of worn a bunch of numbers. I actually really like 18. I wore 18 this year. You were 18, right?
Yeah, weird that we had the same numbers.
Yeah, but I loved 18. I wore 18 in Finland, in Germany, and then this year, I actually probably would have took 18 in Cardiff. I think Ulmer was 18 when I got there.
Right.
And then this year,
Jard's wore it in Cardiff.
Yeah, Jard's wore it this year. And then when I went to Glasgow, 18, I myself, I think I'll go back to 18. But I always like the numbers. I always like the numbers with the 1 in front of it.
Yeah.
Like one year I wore 17. But it's kind of funny. It's like if you have a good year with a number, you're like, oh, I like this number now.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I was always 10. And then when I couldn't get 10 in Beatingheim and I wore 18 and then ran a muck and we win the championship, then I'm like, well, I guess 18 is my number.
Now I'm 18. One year, oh my God, I went to Yaroslavl and they said, what number do you want? And they sent me a list of numbers. It was hilarious. It was like 68, 69, some other crazy number, 90 something. And then it was 6. I'm like, well, I guess I'll take 6. But I felt like shit putting on that jersey with number 6 on it. I'd look at it and be like, oh, that's a terrible
number
for a forward, right?
Yeah,
like,
forward
who wears
can't be
number
that.
6? Like as a defenseman, you could wear. I used to look at the jersey. I say to my buddy all the time, look at this number 6, man. Look,
yeah,
I look like a
that wouldn't look good on you at all.
No, so I had that for a little bit, and that could have been one of the reasons things didn't work out as well. But
well, they say happy hockey players play better, and if you're looking at your jersey like that, it's not a good start. So I guess you weren't wearing 14 like Colby does for Tom Kuhnhackl, eh? From Landshut, Germany.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I guess you hinted at the fact that you'll be closer to home. You didn't say if it's playing, coaching, or something else to do with the game, but I think you should stay in the game. I think you're a hockey guy and you need to be a part of the game. Okay. If you're listening to me at all.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was a great experience last year, but I was pretty close to doing something in the coaching, and just there's a lot more to it too when you get older, right? At my age, and you're kind of you're not going to play anymore, and you're looking at different stuff, and probably
it's a strange time in life when you're getting near the end.
Even if it's something you get into that's not hockey, which might happen to be still nice to be involved some way doing something, right? So hockey will always be part of what
who you
do,
are.
So
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's like just coaching the kids around here, right? Like I do something totally different during the day. But that time with a team and getting to try and build a team, and then you got your core and you try and win trophies and championships with kids and teach them how to be a teammate. That's living,
Yeah, no, it's like I said, you learn a lot playing over the years. It'd be nice to, I don't know, pass that on, but nice to just stay involved with it.
Yeah.
Be part of it. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. You did get your MBA though, right? You're a master of business, like yours truly.
I mean, what an awesome, you got to, thank Carter for stuff like that, where you can go in and do it, and
near the end of your career and kind of prepare yourself for other things, right?
Yeah. When you look back, at your hockey career, I tell guys around here too, it comes a certain age where it's such a great option because it's a great league. I mean, you go over to a place, Cardiff's such a great city. Todd and those guys take such good care of you, man. It's unbelievable. And then you get a chance to do your MBA as well. So my dad always says, he goes, man, you're going to look back and say that might have been one of the best, probably the best decision you made through hockey, being able to go through something like that and end up getting your MBA, which is it's pretty crazy, actually.
No, it really is. And that year is tiring, right? But like I found it changed me as a person. Instead of the guy that was going home and watching Netflix and being lazy, like you had to keep moving all day and you had to keep doing stuff. And like nowadays I don't ever sit down, and I think it all started that year in Cardiff,
Well, it's funny, like I was one of the guys, like I was known, practice, eat lunch, and I'm shutting it down for the afternoon. Like I'm napping 3-4 hours. And I did that for so many years, right?
It's amazing how much of a day you can miss doing that, eh?
It's unbelievable. But I remember it came to a point when I was in Germany, and I had an offer to go back to Germany, and I was sitting there thinking, I knew some guys that did the MBA, and I knew guys in Cardiff said such good things about the place. I said, you know what, it's a good time. I think it was mid-30s or a little younger than that, but it'd be a good time to maybe, keep playing at a good level and look into something for when I'm done. And I was so happy I did that. That was actually the funnest year of hockey I think I've had. We had the school guys. It was me, Charles Linglet, and Ben Tavolio. So we had a great crew. I used to love going to school.
Yeah.
It's funny how it
yeah.
I love going to school. I love the whole writing papers, going out. You get friends at school too. You got a little social life going. Like it was good.
Yeah. I even met like a Chet guy, Yashis, my buddy from India, and like there's a bar at the school, right? You can have a couple pints between classes and get to know your classmates. It's pretty fun.
Well, that was a good thing. Like days off, you got a couple days off, you go to class. Then it's let's go down to the school, the whatever the campus bar. And you sit there,
have a pizza and a couple pints.
And the thing is, everyone's like early 20s. I think we were all like mid-30s at the time. It's like,
oh yeah, way older than everybody.
I remember the boys used to say, "Man, you're not actually a student. Like you can't." I was walking around. I felt like I was 20 years old.
Yeah, no, it's a busy life, but it was a lot like being an NCAA, right? It's just way more games than NCAA, but
yeah, see, I never got the experience. Part of me kind of NCAA would have been awesome. I did the junior, right? So juniors basically you're living a pro lifestyle at 16. It's like hockey, practice, travel. You're going to high school, but like you're not there ever. You're kind of doing it on your own. But I would have loved that NCAA experience, talking to guys that went there. Like, oh man,
yeah, it's something. They're like it's all about what school you go to too, though, right? Because there are schools that are little and aren't like Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo is just the funnest time you can have. I can't imagine being a good hockey team and going to that school. We weren't good, and I had a time.
No, that's awesome. I got my NCAA experience in Cardiff.
Right, Cardiff that's Met. Right. Yeah, the Met.
But it made you feel accomplished, though, didn't it? Like I used to love sitting down. You get a paper done, you send it in. It's like, oh god, like
it feels. Yeah, I'd get everything done on time, and it would feel good when you got something done right, and you're closer to getting it finished.
Yeah, it was great.
So we talked about different countries and cultures for hockey. Which country do you think had the wildest fans?
There a little bit, Wally.
What country had the wildest fans? Am I still cut out? Are you
there?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, you cut out there for a second. I couldn't hear you.
No, sorry. I said, what country of all the ones you played in had the wildest fans? Because I know German fans are wild, but you're also in Russia. I don't know what Swedish or Finnish fans are like.
You know what? I'd say the fans, the UK is cool. It's kind of like a football, soccer culture.
Yeah.
Germany, when I was in Wolfsburg, Germany, and we had crazy fans. But you go to places like Mannheim and Berlin. I mean, that was crazy. But probably the craziest game I played was in fan-wise. We were playing Djurgården, the Stockholm team, playoffs. And they have in Sweden, they have the big rink there. It's called the Globe. And I think we played them 2 games at home. I think we went down. They ended up sweeping us. We went down 2-0. We went up there for game 3. And they usually, during the season, there's 2 rinks there. There's one that fits, I'd say maybe 5. This is just a wild guess, 5 or 6. And then the Globe, that's like an NHL style rink, like a lot of fans. And we got out there for after warm up, the intros, and they had like the fire going. Everyone was jumping up and down. So I said, "Oh my god!" Like you couldn't even hear yourself think. So Sweden, Finland. To be honest, all those countries are they're very passionate about hockey, right? So it's
Yeah. Isn't it
I
interesting
got
when
to
you grow
play
up in Canada or like kind of small town Canada and you have no idea what it's like over there until you get there and experience it, right?
no idea. Like I went to after my time in North America, I went to Europe really young. So I think I was 23 when I went to Sweden, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I'll go for a year, check it out. You know, it'd be good for me, work on my skate, big rink." And the Swedish league had a good rep. And I got over there and was like, "Wow, this is like unbelievable!
Yeah. Yeah.
Like beautiful rinks. Every rink is just jammed. Like I had no idea the hockey was that big there.
And how many good players there are there, right?
So many good players. Like I think of even my first couple years in Sweden were, you know, we had a younger team, but we had some older guys. I remember my line mate was Andreas Dackell. Remember we played for the Senators, the Canadians. I grew up kind of watching him. I said, geez, this is kind of cool. He was late 30s at the time. We had our goalies in my 2 years there were Jacob Markstrom. His backup was Eddie Lack the second year, and the first year it was Anders Lindback, and all those guys went on to have great NHL careers.
Yeah.
We had Kalle Yonkrook with the Leafs, Jacob Silverberg. There was like a whole crew of these young guys that would.
This was all on your team in Sweden.
Sweden, my first couple of years when I was 23, 24, I'm watching these guys. I'm going, man, like these guys are good. Like,
yeah,
this is crazy. And then when I went to Finland, you get to play with. I was with Antti Ranta, Armia with the Canadians, Patrick Laine. And I remember watching Laine, and I was
going, is that like when he's getting drafted, like high? It
was his draft year. He went second overall that year. It was funny at the beginning of the year. He was kind of. I saw him the year before. Actually, my first practice, he was playing junior, so he had a cage on. I go, who the hell is this guy with the cage? They're like, oh, that's Laine, but there wasn't too much hype around him. I'm like, this guy's unbelievable.
Isn't it weird when you just see a guy and you're like, that guy's got it?
You see a guy and you're just like, oh my God. And I remember that year, the next year, my second year, he started with us on the big, like the pro team. And he was doing pretty good. And he went to World Juniors and lit it on fire. They ended up winning. He came back from then and just turned it on the rest of the years. MVP of the playoffs at 17. Went to the World Championships, MVP of the World Championships.
When he's
second
17.
overall. I still think he's gonna get 50 here pretty soon. Like it's unbelievable the shot and the
and he's
skill.
one of those guys when he plays hockey, he's pretty cool and calm out there, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a pretty serious guy, and he's got a good mindset, a bit like Reggie. But he and even it's kind of funny in those countries playing against guys. I remember playing against Barkov with the Panthers now, and he was only 16. And I'm on the ice. I'm going like, I said to the guy, like, who the hell is this number 16? Like, I can't win a face-off against him. Like, yeah. This guy is so strong. They're like, oh, that's Barkov. He's 16 or 17. I'm like, what? Like,
I can't win a face-off against a 17-year-old.
You just see guys, and they're just like special talents like that, and they're just built different, right?
I remember I didn't get to play in those leagues with those guys, but like I've never looked up to see what these kids did. But when we played Lugano in an exhibition game, they were rolling. They had like Niedermeyer and a few others, and they're rolling the lines, and then they start beating us handily. And then all of a sudden, this line comes out with 3 Swiss kids with cages. And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll mix in a goal here. They got the kids out there with cages on. And then these kids went out and started flying around, putting it between their legs, like basically doing shit like the Michigan. And I was like, what is this?
People, man.
Yeah.
And you see, like I said, those countries, they're developing. Their young guys are so good. That was the funny thing. You get an injury on the the big team, and it's like, okay, we got to call someone up from the junior team, and they just step right in. They're poised. They can play. It's like, you don't miss the beat. That's a little different too when you look at those countries where they have the junior teams with such good players, it'd be nice. The EIHL is when you get injuries, it's hard to draw.
From
they
anywhere.
don't have that
That feeder league, but yeah.
But it's coming. It's starting to turn around. But it's those countries. It's like a well-oiled machine. You start with like when I was in Tappara in Finland, they got the pro team. Then they go right down to Timbit kids, and it's all Tappara. It's a whole
Right.
organization, right? It's pretty cool.
Every country has a different kind of way of doing minor hockey and everything too, right?
Yeah.
I had a look at what the Cardiff Junior Devils are doing in like the UK.
Yeah, they got a great setup there in Cardiff.
They have a great setup, but dude, this was some pretty strange stuff. So they got, if you're in say under 11 and you all sign up for hockey, there's like 30 something kids on this team. And then apparently they find out if they make the roster or not before each game. So like they get health bombed like all the time because they have too many players. And it's like, well, I think kids should play every game and you have two teams, but then I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think at that, when at that age, just getting on the ice, right?
Yeah, just being out there more and more. Yeah.
Make some more teams.
But like then Germany would have the guys where like their job was coaching minor hockey. Like they had guys like us that would be the minor hockey and you would coach like 3 different teams and that was your job. And like, then you come back to Canada and anybody can coach. They're doing it for free. Sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you don't. And like everybody's, I guess, what they experience has a lot to do with who ends up coaching them. And I don't know. I don't think you're always going to get the cream of the crop whenever he's volunteering. And the shit they make you do to coach minor hockey in Canada is bananas.
Yeah, I noticed that over there they have a there's a big focus on the youth program. So like you said, you're seeing a lot of ex-players and real good hockey guys getting,
coaching the kids.
They retire and they get a job within the club because it's still part of the club and developing the young guys. So yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. I made a good point. I don't know.
That's good. Wally.
Highly doubt it. So for poster picks, this is within the section of the pod where I bring up poster picks. I haven't got any from you, so I sent over about 5 picks from last weekend to Lee. One of them is the pick with the whole crew, both teams, and the big photo for Batchy. What a weekend, right?
Oh, it was a great weekend.
Good work, everybody. Well done.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then the other two, like one of them's like my favorite, is the selfie that I took, the shed guy selfie when we're heading into the bay to have a day. With like 7 of us. Jards, you, the George brothers, Hoth, Benty. What a roster.
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, Jards and those guys, man. Hilarious. The George brothers, unbelievable too. What a shift they put in.
Right? They hung in there all weekend long, didn't they?
Well, they always do, man. They always do.
They always do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see those guys.
How many people do you think Chris George kissed over the weekend? How many men do you think he kissed on the cheek?
I'd say he kissed me at least 300 times, I think.
At least, right? He's a kisser. He is a kisser. Yeah.
And it's funny, Stevie's not a kisser too, right?
Yeah, no, who is? I'm not a kisser.
No, I think it's just him.
Yeah, no, he likes kissing. Next poster pick that I put on is me and you being on the ice together for the first time, right?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I tried to go short side backhand cheese, but just don't have it anymore. You took away the pass to Hoth. I couldn't get it to him.
I had a good stick there.
Yeah, you did. I was trying, but when you see the background, there's a lot of folks there, eh?
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I mean, you wake up, you're obviously under the weather. You have a few starting to feel good. And then it was kind of an eye opener when I went out and looked around. I said, oh my God, there's a lot of people here.
Right. And then you kind of got to play, or you do have to play. And, I had 2 goals, team won. I guess you could call that running amok, right?
Yeah, you did good, Wally. You and Piggy had a few too.
Yeah, no, I actually almost didn't make her through after the first period. I was pretty well exhausted. And when they did that fastest skater stuff, man, I was just waiting for them to call my name. And I was like, I would probably pass out if I tried that because I'd get too competitive and try and beat whoever I went against,
That was funny. Everyone was a little nervous there. No one wanted their name called for that one.
No, they didn't. But good matchups that day. You know?
Yeah, that was good. It was good. I was
That other
hoping,
that other Wally can really boogie, eh?
man, that guy can fly.
Yeah, and stick handle and shoot. Jeepers.
Yeah, I remember I was playing with Reeder and Crandall in Cardiff, and we kind of played. None of us were that. Well, we could skate, but I mean, not like Wally. But we kind of played at our own pace, and I think a couple times someone got hurt or something, and I think it was me, Reeder, and Wally. And we'd be like, Wally, man, you gotta slow down a little bit.
Stick with us.
That guy can fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one of those, like, you watch him, he's just such an effortless skater. He just goes, man. He's so fast. In practice, he's like, there's not many guys that can keep up with Wally. And he's got the skill set too. He's got the hands and shot to go with his feet. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think he's gonna have a monster year, I think.
Yeah. And like it's like you see what Team GB's doing, and then they're bringing kids like that up and along.
Yeah, you get a guy like Wally coming in, and he'll be a staple there for a lot of years.
Yeah. And one thing we discussed over the weekend was we're a dying breed. The fellows that were there that weekend, there's not many guys that are still like us in the game, but who's kind of old school and, is just one of the fellows too, is Sam Duggan. That guy's a dandy, isn't he?
Dougie's a beauty. Yeah. He's unbelievable. That guy. He is great teammate, great player, good leader. He'll, he's one of those guys. You look at guys in Cardiff that you got your Richies and Martys and Dougie be a guy. I mean, if you want to be there for a long time and a real leader for the team.
Yeah, I think he should at least stay long enough to have a testimonial.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully
he brings us back. Hopefully he brings us back.
Can you imagine? I could be like the first guy ever to never have played with a guy, only talked to him in my shed, and I got to get invited.
Who'd be up next there, I wonder? Marty's got to be close.
It's got to be Marty and Bouncy right around the same.
Are they okay? Yeah. Yeah, Marty's getting up there.
Well, and then we'll have Richie round 2. This time, hopefully I can make it. The first time I had to say no because I didn't have enough holidays yet in the real world. But if Richie has a second one, I won't miss the second one.
Yeah, Richie's A1 too.
Has anybody had 2 testimonials? Like, he's going into his 16th year.
Well, Mizey had 2. Mizey had one in Cardiff.
Well, yeah, he had one in Nottingham too, right? Yeah, I was thinking the same team though. That's 20 years on one team.
Yeah, how many years is Richie in now? He's got to be.
This is going into 16.
Oh wow! So
he can do it. Like, the guy still looks the same as when I played with him.
Richie can play till he's 50 if he wants.
Yeah.
And even that's pretty impressive. 2 on 2 different teams. That's pretty cool.
And he's still going. Like, he's not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He had a great year this year. The last 2 years he played great.
Well, he does the same thing, man. Every team needs a guy that wants to stand in front of the net. Every team needs that. It's a very important part of having a team, is a guy that loves standing in front of the net. And that's what he does.
He's a good centerman, good on draws, hard to, big, strong guy.
Mm-hmm. So you won a gold medal in the World Juniors. We probably talked about that way back in episode 32. That is a pretty cool life experience. You won under 18s with Canada. And then you also won in Finland. So when you win in Finland, is there like a full parade and the full deal? Is it a full go?
Finland was unbelievable.
Because when I won in Germany, man, we talked about, you don't know what it's like overseas until you get there. Like, when we won the second league in Germany, I couldn't believe how big of a deal it was.
And the thing in Finland is the boys love the end of the year trips.
Yeah, Germany too.
They look for it. Like, there were some older guys there, married with kids, and the Finns are very, they're pretty. Until you get to know them, they're kind of quiet guys. They just go about their business, come work hard, go home. So that there's one of my buddies there. He kind of, you knew he was a beauty, but he was just family man stuff. And when we won that in Finland, we had to parade the net. Well, you go down to the city square, thousands of people, you're up on stage, it was crazy. Had the whole thing, and they had hotels, they had floral rooms for us. and a sauna room. So it was like saunas. They love the saunas.
I love saunas too.
There was a bar there with a bartender, food, and it was just kind of open 24/7. So we partied for like 3 days, and then and this is the thing in Finland, whether you win or lose, they keep the fine fund. So it's like if your flip flops on the floor at a place, it's like, whatever the price is. But guys don't mind. You're getting fined all the time, but you don't care because it all goes.
It goes to the year-end party. Yeah.
So then at the end of the year, we've got this fine fund with tons of money in it, and we're going to. One year we went to Copenhagen. The next year we went to Spain for 4 days. Flights, hotels, the drinks, everything's covered because the fine fund's so big.
That's fun.
But I remember my buddy said to his wife, he said, "Come on over to the house. We'll have a sauna," because we were going to meet the bus to go to the airport. Or it might have been the day after we won. And I think he said to his wife, "Hey, honey, I'll see you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks or something." It might not have been a couple of weeks, maybe like 10 days. She's like, "Oh yeah, have fun." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Oh yeah." It's like, this is every year.
It's your time to shine. The season's over.
He played for about 20 years. He goes, every year, he goes, "Man, I live for this end of the year."
The Germans were the same, man. When I first went over there, they were like going to Mallorca or whatever at the end of the season, and we were using the fund. But like that first year, I decided like I got to get home. I've been gone too long. And then when you look back on your career, those are the trips you got to go on because that's the shit you remember.
Oh man, like those years, it was just you go there, you have fun, you get back, the party's still going too. Yeah, it's quite an experience. It's pretty cool. But that's all the same thing you talk about, build the team and stuff. And a lot of these guys have been on the team it's the only team they played for, right? So
and you have one of those year-end trips and bring all the boys and as many as you can. That helps the next season.
Closer.
Yeah, the next season they're more willing to do more for each other because they had that fun weekend together where all the boys have a time, and like it does bring people together, right?
I remember because the top guys that have to go to the national team, right? So there'd be like 2-3 guys get picked the national team. They're like, oh man, obviously they're happy. And sucks. I can't go on this trip. I got to go with the national team.
It is neat though, seeing buddies, playing the world championships and stuff. It's like I remember in Germany when we won, like the day after we win, like you said, the Danish fella, Casper Dine, had to leave the night we won and drove across Europe to wherever the world championships were and played the next day for Denmark. So then I head back to Canada. I'm watching TSN, and sure enough, there's my teammate out there ripping around, right?
It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's funny when you're there. I used to just think like, oh, these national team breaks. Like, I just used to like the time off, right? You get to travel a bit, but they put a lot of emphasis on the national team. It's pretty cool.
It's the other countries are so much more into it to Canada than for the world championships, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, they got their team together all year playing tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll get the odd NHL guy come over, but for the most part, a lot of them keep a lot of the domestic players too.
Well, what's like we talk about watching hockey is I wish I would have known you when you were playing in the World Juniors, right? That would have been really cool to watch that. What a roster you guys had, though. Holy moly.
Oh, yeah. And the thing, all great guys, too. It was, we all kind of came through the under 18 program there. And we went to Piastany, Slovakia, before my 17-year-old year. So we won that. And then if you don't make playoffs, you go to it was the under 18 Worlds. It was actually in Yaroslav in Russia. I ended up going back to play there about 10 years after. It was pretty funny turn of events, but we ended up winning that. And it was kind of like a group of guys that all kind of played in these tournaments together. So it was kind of a cool experience and getting to know all those guys.
So you won it over there. That would have been different than like winning it at home, eh?
It was wild. Yeah, it was.
Being at that age too, right? Did you guys go out of town then or what?
Trying to think.
Pretty young, but like you won the gold medal.
Pretty young, but we had quite a crew there too.
Right.
I'm sure we did. I can't remember specifically, but I'm sure we did.
Wow.
But it was it was like a good group of guys, and then a lot of us ended up doing the 18s and through the under 20. So it was that was a great.
Well, it's
Great
cool to
experience.
see all your buddies' careers and where they end up going, right? And like you've played with
Oh
some
yeah.
players.
Oh man, I don't know how many Hall of Famers you like. It's crazy looking at the roster, right?
So what Colby asked me when I showed him like the roster that you'd played with Crosby and stuff, because I thought he'd think that was neat. He goes, "Do you think did he get their autographs?" I was like, "Well, I don't know if you ask your teammates for
I
autographs.
think I do have a jersey that's signed.
That'd be a cool jersey to have."
Yeah, I think I got a jersey at home.
Well, I'm not sure what else I got, you know. I just like what Batchy did for all of us playing there for 10 years. I think winning inspires a lot of stuff. And I think if the Devils don't win for 10 years, they keep changing things and eventually everybody gets changed if you don't win. I think the Devils starting this dynasty they had there after I was gone and all the winning you guys did. And then when I get to have a weekend with all you fellas, and it's like, well, I know why the Devils were winning after I was gone. They were recruiting just absolute dandies.
I remember, I think the funny thing is with Lordo and Todd and they were looking for good players, but I think more importantly too is good guys, and they always like you said, they had such a core group. I think my year I went in, my first year, there wasn't too many changes. I think we had myself, Linglet, Hedden. I think Dougie. Yeah, Dougie came in midway through that year. I'm just trying to think on defense. I'm not sure if any new guys. I'm sure I'm missing people, but they always brought in really good guys.
And it also they retain guys, right? And like that's how Batchy's been there so long and Richie's been there so long. It's like they keep their Devils. The guys that are Devils, they keep them, you know?
Well, that's part of it, the good guys, and also the way you get treated. I mean, it's one of those places where you go there and guys want to stay, right? Which is
what a city, eh?
it's a great city. In European hockey, that's that's hard to find really, because there's a lot of turnover in a lot of spots, and
a lot of changes.
It kind of reminds me when I was in Wolfsburg. Actually, I went in there, and that was a place where they had guys, which is strange in Germany, but they had a lot of North Americans there for 7-8 years,
right?
And they built, they had the same coach, and they built like a good, good foundation. So when you come in as a new guy, it's kind of like same in Cardiff. Hey, this is the way it is, right? There's
oh yeah.
Like, how can you complain or question anything when you know that everyone's on the same page, right? It's
well, and you get
setting, right?
the leaders like they have in Cardiff with Richie and Joey Martin, and then they had you and Benty and like Hotham, and like what a roster, dudes. Like I had just so much fun, and it was so much fun getting to know all you guys, and good on Batchy. Like he has great taste in men.
He did put quite a roster together. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, and it was a time.
The whole weekend was set up so good too. I was actually talking to Todd yesterday. We were talking for about an hour, just like, oh my, like what a crew. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it was just unbelievable. Like it was just everyone had it reminded me of going to like an all-inclusive resort down south where everyone's just in a good mood. Yeah. Everyone had a smile on their face. Like it was just
everybody was so excited to be there and having so much fun. And then when the stories started flowing, it's just like it was so in my wheelhouse sitting at the bay with a bunch of hockey dudes just telling stories.
Oh, I know. It's hilarious. When I left, I was sitting on the train. My ribs were sore from laughing the whole weekend.
When we rolled into that dinner on the Friday night, what a scene that must have been.
That's what I was saying. It's one thing when you're out hitting the bottle all day. Another thing when you're sitting in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. And then people paid money to come for dinner with us. I actually meant to bring those out today and say they're fantastic sunglasses.
They were nice too.
Yeah, I got a lot of nice gifts that weekend. I got my new wallet from Thomas Murdy, Lucky Foot Leather. That's his 2 ales on it. And then I got all
Oh,
this
that's sweet.
chocolate for my gals. I've been cruising around delivering it to my gals. I got 3 more gals to deliver to, but it can take time. So each night, if we got a free night, Zoe and I have been cruising to like 3 or 4 that like live in certain areas, and like you end up stopping in and like get the girls see each other again. They get to reconnect, and then like myself and the dad usually might have a beer sometimes while we discuss chocolate and the season, and the girls become buddies again. But it's like I'm so thankful for everybody for chucking the chocolate on for my gals and everything
that was
they did
nice.
for Batchy, right? Like the jersey auction was insane.
That was I was kind of like half paying attention. I got up a little later, but I was listening to some of the price. I heard $1,000 a couple times. I was going, wow, man, that's unbelievable. That's really cool.
Yeah, and like I think it's so cool that the UK has these testimonial games, like what that does for a guy in his future and his life, and like that Batchy made money for having a roster of the biggest dandies in the world come over and have a weekend. That's awesome.
I was explaining to my buddies here. They're like, well, what is it? I'm like, explain this. If you see, like everyone goes up and plays a game. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, listen, it's hard to explain to people here, right?
Well, it is. And like Todd had a good comment the first night. He goes, people think the game is important for this weekend, but the game is like the least important thing of this whole weekend. And like that was as like 15 of us walked down the main street of Cardiff, and you're like, God, this is livid.
The game was on nobody's mind, I think, until
it was.
You get there and you realize, oh God, there's a lot of people here.
Wow. And then I was out there with guys that have been actively playing professional hockey, and I haven't exercised in a handful of years. It was a mess. And Friday was our biggest day. And then the game Saturday.
Yeah, Friday was a day. Friday was a good time.
Friday was a day.
But the whole city was just
electric.
And it was a long, an extended weekend. It was a bank holiday there. So it was, how many like bachelorette parties and bachelor parties were there? Everywhere you looked, there was.
The city was alive.
I saw 30 of them.
The city was alive.
Was rocking. Even Sunday afternoon, I went and got the train up to London, and I walked out, and to the left's the train station, to the right's Mill Lane there, and I look over, and it's rocking.
Rocking at like 10:30, 11 a.m.
I just looked over. I said, "Oh my God!"
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's quite the culture.
I could have easily took a right, but I had to get on that train. So
yeah, you made it out of there. It was a full weekend, and it was really fun. Keep up the good work. But seriously, thanks for making the time for me today. Great getting to know you last weekend.
Thanks, Wally.
Yeah, fun times. And thanks, Batchy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And this has been another episode of 2 Ales and Hockey Tales with Dicko and Wally.